Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and I'm here with something a little different today. Now, you're used to me making 12 by 12 backgrounds, and I am lucky enough to have a 12 by 12 plate. And I thought, well, what if you don't have a 12 by 12 plate? I normally recommend anyone starting out to have a 5 by 7 because they're so useful, and that's how I started out, and for many years, that was all I ever had. And I thought, okay, let's show how I could utilise this to make a bigger background. So let's talk about a few things that I've been asked anyway. Right, 5 by 7 gel. This is just a piece of plexiglass, see-through. I use it because for me, I mean, it's not necessary. I could put this directly onto my work surface, but I have found that if I have it on the plexiglass, I can pick it up and move it around. So when I'm making a video, it's easier. Also, once I've got it on here, I can pick it up and turn it around and almost use it as a stamp, which is what we're pretty much going to do today. Okay, and I'm going to see whether I can build a reasonably contemporary background and see where we go with it, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to make a start. Now, I have no colour scheme in mind. I'm going to try and choose some opaque colours for the background, and then as I build up layers I'll work to more transparent colours, and then we'll put some detail in it. We'll just see where it goes, to be honest. I expect this to be more of a contemporary, modern and bright look than my usual stuff, which is maybe a little erring on the side of grungy, although there's lots of colour in my work and I love colour. So I'm going to come in straight away with turquoise. Now I've got my 4-inch speedball brayer, and no, I still haven't bought a new one. I need to have a backup one because if I lost this one or damaged it, I haven't got another speedball going. I've got a piece of roll-off over there just for cleanup of the brayer. Something else I do have is I've got quite a few of these scrap pieces of A5 paper, which I've had for ages. I don't even know where I got them. I worked in an office scenario once. I must have picked them up then. I'm going to show you how I adjust my plate and at the same time making papers for collage as well. So right, let's come in here and get some paint down. Now, I'm just using regular acrylic paint here. This is what I would call a craft-based paint in that it comes in a bottle. So, right, just brayer off the excess. Now what I want to do is I don't necessarily want all of this, I just want sections of it. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to lay a piece of paper on this side, and lay a piece of paper on this side. Hopefully get them straight, because I'm not looking at them, I'm looking at them through the camera. Actually, I've messed that up, and let's just spray over the top of that like that. Actually, see, even I mess things up. I waited too long and I touched it with my finger and then I made a mess. But it's fine, we will keep on going. So, just putting a layer of paint on there again because I don't want it to be too patchy. So I'm going to pull these off, and what this will do is it will pull off the paint on the plate and leave me with whatever shape I want on the plate. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to press this down on the edge of my plate. On the edge of my 12 by 12. Now I'm using 250 GSM cardstock. You could be doing this on the back of an existing 12 by 12 from a paper pad or something that you want to use up or recycle. These I'm going to put to one side and they will dry as I'm working, and then what I'll do is I'll periodically pull them back in and use them again, and I'll build up layers of paper colour on there. Now when you lift this up, sometimes it's going to lift up the paper like it's doing there, so just do it gently, let it pull away, and that gives me my first mile. Now I'm going to be turning mine around. You don't need to. I'm turning it around because if I'm trying to reach over there with the iPad here, which is between my face and the surface, it's going to be difficult for me. So for me to work here is easier and I won't be getting my head in the screen. Right, what have I got on here? Right, I've got a bit of a something on there. Let's see if I can just lift that off and get it off there because I don't need it on the next layer. Right, you can obviously do any shape that you can create. You could also take these and maybe cut shapes in them, put them through a die cutting machine and cut circles and stuff and pull out those. Or I do know that there are small plates out there, 3-inch round ones, which I used in one of my last videos actually, and I could potentially stamp shapes on that way with that, but I'm not doing that today. This is just what I'm doing here. So this time I'm going to put it on here again, and I'm just going to repeat the process. It's not as fast as having a 12 by 12, because obviously a full 12 by 12 I can cover it in one go, but this is equally as good, and if anything it gives me cleaner results, because what it's doing is it's isolating for me areas so I get nice clean sharp edges. Now I can pick it up with the paper intact if I wish. I can do it this way. It's up to you entirely how you do this. Am I in shot? I'm near enough in shot. There you go. So just giving it a gentle press down. One thing I am doing, however, and you may have noticed, is I'm letting it sit for a few seconds just so that it has chance to adhere to the paper. I'm going to come in, just peel that away. Now I've already got that covered up, and this is here. I've got a piece in the middle here that's got pale stuff on it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in a piece of tissue paper just to clean that off, and that will build up another layer of colour on something else that I can use for future for collage printing, collage making. I tend to use lots of tissue for collage papers. So I now peel these off here, and what it's done, it's effectively cleaned my plate. Right. So I think I just need one more block of something in this. And I think it needs to be here. What colour should we use? I don't want to use something dark because dark is what I'm going to go to next. Pity I've got green there because I'd quite like to put a green in there. I don't want to put a metallic, even though I've got something that is a bit shiny. I wonder, what's this? Iridescent blue violet. Let's just go for it. Let's block this off a little bit. Let's use these again, so that when I actually put it down, I'm ready for it. Right, let's do it that way. Now, I often get asked, what is the difference between a stencil and a mask? Very good question. And the answer is, calling something a stencil and a mask isn't necessarily right. Stenciling and masking are techniques. So you could use a stencil as a mask. You could use a mask as a stencil. So it's a little hard to explain if you've got a product in your hand and you go, oh, is this a mask or a stencil? It'll depend on how you as an artist use it as to what it should be regarded as. Up you come. There you go. Right, I'm just going to try and see if I've got anything left on the plate that I can just cover that bit up. I don't know why I'm a little bit obsessive about covering the white up. Probably because I don't feel it's on its right pathway until everything is pretty much covered. Right, there you go. I think we're about done with the background. So as you can see, we now have a background. We have lots of other backgrounds in A5 as well, but that's fine. So now I would probably start thinking, how do I want to add stuff to this? Now, you can do mark making, you can use stencils, you can use stamps, whichever you wish to use is up to you. As I said, I may well actually do some doodling. I'm unsure at the moment. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to do some mark making. So prime example, I'm going to use corrugated card. You've seen me use corrugated card often. So that was the last bit I did. So I'm going to work down here at the moment. I'm going to come in, I'm going to mask this off with some paper. The paper we've been using, purely because I don't want this whole area done with stripes. Right, and actually if I add another piece up here, of paper, I can probably do stripes up there as well. So let's put that down on there. Right, what colour should we do, people? I wish I did lives. Lives would be so much easier with people at the other end of the conversation, but I'm not brave enough for that. Right, I'm going to use this plum purple. Oh, running out of this too, but I need to be buying some more paint. I'm running a bit low on some of my favourite colours, should we say. Right, so I'm going to come in with, this is just a bit of craft card, pick it up, lay it down, and the masked off areas will contain the mark making. Now, do I want any more of that on there anywhere? Time to look is now. Well, I've still got the paint on the go. And up you come. I think I'd like a little bit in this green area, to be honest. So let's just pop a bit of that down by there. Let's see if I can pick up the last little bits of this. There you go. So again, we're building up on these, and what I'll do now is I will use this to pick up stuff that's on the 5x7. That's fine so far. I now want to come in with one of my favourites, which is bubble wrap. I use bubble wrap often. It's just clear packaging bubble wrap. Well, I didn't even have to be clear. It's just bubble wrap basically. So you've seen it. You get it in all your packaging. Ugh. And I think I want to do potentially that in white. Let's just give that a bit of a... I don't want stuff on my 5x7 that's going to actually create a problem for me. Right, I think I want white. Do I want white? I think I do want white, but I want white in specific areas. Right, I'm not liking the way this colour turned out here. So I'm going to mask that bit off. And I'm going to create a new piece of interest there. And up there could do with something as well. This is very much on the hoof art. This is certainly no thought ahead of time on this one. I might put it up there because that's just calling to me. Right, I think I want white. In fact, I know I want white, so I'm just going to use white acrylic. Gosh, it's getting dark out there. We've had some very, well, I've just said, haven't I, that we've had lots and lots of rain. So just spraying this out. Hopefully you're in shot. It's not a thick coat, but it's thick enough coat that I can actually pick up the bubbles. Why do I feel... Which side are the bubbles on that? It must be that side. I'm just going to come in. Now I've moved it so I've got a concentration of bubbles over there. I think I want one more piece up here. I think we're okay with that. So again, let's reveal where we're up to. Right, so we've got ourselves quite an arty looking piece here. It's got stuff on it I really like. I've got more to go on here, so I'm now going to clean off this. Let's go with this. This is a draw liner, a non-stick slip mat with lots of paint on it apparently. You get this in like the dollar store, the pound store. One side, if you put that side down, it'll be flat. If you put this side down, it gives you dots. So I think I'm going to put that on here next. I'm going to cover up areas that have already been dotified. Is that a word? I think I'm going to start making that a word from now on. Dotified. Yeah, I think that will work. It'll give some sort of movement. It'll almost cross this up, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. Right, Van Dyke Brown. Van Dyke Brown is pretty much as well. It's as black as brown will get, in my opinion. That's quite a lot of that. So now I know that before I put this down, it's going to lift up whatever this touches. So I'm going to have to be fiddling a little bit with this, so bear with me with this one. So I'm going to come in, just press that down on there and try and lift this up without lifting too many other things up. That was lucky. Right, I'm going to come in again. I'm trying to kind of line it up so the lattice works all the way across it. Again, just do this bit by here. Right, let's do the big reveal and see where we got up to. We'll tidy up this gel plate in a minute too. Okay, I'm all right with that. It's got that. Not keen on that area there. It's really annoying me. And I'm wondering whether I want to come in and try and just lay something completely opaque over the top. It's this colour here. I didn't do well. That was the wrong colour to put there. The purple over the yellow will always make brown. And I completely forgot yellow and purple make brown. And I think what I want to do is I want to put some orange over here. It will come up as two different shades of orange or tones of orange, but it does mean that it will bring the colour across. The other one I could do is the brown, but I'm thinking more orange. So I'm going to have to block this off. These papers are looking really cool. We may have to do a project on those in the future. Don't ask for it immediately. I don't know what the project is going to be. I'm talking out loud, guys. I'm talking out loud. Right. Let's see if this orange helps this. I'm not sure that I've still got some brown on my brayer, so hopefully we're not changing one dirty brown for another dirty brown. Okay, don't mind that, and I don't even mind the mark on it. There you go, that saved that area. I do want to put the dots back into it though, so I'm just going to do a really quick little repair job, should we say. Let's just clear up this plate a bit. Right, I wanted white again, didn't I? Just going to put some white in here. Don't need a huge amount. I do, however, need to block this area off again. There you go. That marries that in with the rest of everything on here, and I'm happy with that. So, right, now let's think about some overall stuff that I can put on here. Right, let's pull that up to the top and have a little bit of a flick through here. Right, don't particularly want to use that. That's the other half. Oh, well, I've got the file open. Let's put this one back because I've decided that it's not going to be used. Birds and clouds. No. Roses, don't want to do roses. I use leaves all of the time. I love the leaf one. Absolutely love this stencil. But I use it all the time, and I use numbers and letters all of the time as well. And they don't sort of lend themselves to doodling. See, I have border things. Not all of my stencils and masks are here because they're en route from America at the moment. I'm wondering. Sorry, just having a really thoughtful moment. Let's see what is actually in here. See, I like this sort of stuff. Oh, there's flowers. Why has this one got a hole in the middle and none of the others have? What happened there? Actually, if I do flowers, flowers might work. Flowers and leaves. Flowers and leaves and blocks. There you go. Let's do those. So this is the border collection. It comes in two different sizes, small and large. let's see what we can do with that. So now if this was a bigger plate, it would be a lot easier because I would literally be able to roll it out and stick it straight on there, but it's not a bigger plate. So where do I want it? I think I want this piece up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the masks on the plate first. Then I'm going to put the stencil down the middle of it. And then I'm going to put the paint onto this. Now, what do I want? I'm thinking going back to that original turquoise colour for the blocks there. Yes, let's go with the turquoise colour. And I only say that because if I do any doodling, I'm likely to do it in black. Right, just putting it on the side of the stencil, and I do that so that when I roller it, it doesn't immediately squish under the edges of the stencil, which can happen. Right, let's lift that off there. And see, by putting the masks down on either side, we have a nice clean area to work with. So I think I'm going to come in, lay that on there. Let's just fingers crossed that that was straight. I'm not the world's best at doing things lined up. Okay, that makes me happy. Right, let's see if I can do that again with another couple of these. And I might be able to use the same roller or brayer. And if I'm quite clever, I should be able to line this up. I think that's lined up. Right, just a little bit more of that paint. That doesn't feel like anywhere near enough. Now, before I do that, where do I want to put it is the question. I might actually put it up there. So let's just get that on the go. Now, another thing, if you put too much paint on with a stencil, what you're likely to do is force it under the edge of the stencil, or when you put it down on your page, you will squish it out, which means then you won't have a clean design. So I'm thinking, actually, I can't put it up there because it's already the same cut, or yes, I can put it up there. So I think we'll do 2 of that. There you go. That's good because it covered up that little misdemeanor that was down there. Let's just clean this up with this. See, looking really interesting. So where am I up to? So I want to put the leaves on here. Now, leaves would traditionally be green, but they don't have to be. But with me, they probably are going to be green. Yes, I think I do want them green. Right, again, I'm going to do the same technique of masking off the sides of my gel plate. I'm going to pop this down the middle. Let's move that out because I haven't got enough room for that. Right, just have to remember that that goes off the top. Now, I need something that's going to give it a reason for being there because there's quite a lot of different colours here. And the thing is, if I go light, like this colour, I think I want to go even lighter than that. So I think the obvious thing to do is actually add some white with the green. So as you can see, I tend to put it on the side of the stencil so that I don't actually roller it. Oh. roller it directly in. Now this is quite a fluid paint, this one, so I have to be a little bit careful I don't squish it around too much. And if I do squish it around too much, I just won't put it on the page. Yes, fingers crossed for a clean. Not really. I might use this bit here though. Do you see what I mean? I used the fluid and it actually squished it out underneath. So it's not a problem, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, mask that off there, so then I'm only putting this area down. And I think I'm going to pop it in over that pink there. So there's always a way of curing something, guys. It's just sometimes it needs just a little bit more thought. See, it was the right choice to use two colours. It was a boo-boo on my behalf to actually put so much paint on that it became a problem. So wipe that off there. Let's have a look on it. See, as you can see, it's squished all the way through. So I'm just going to clean up the back of this stencil before I use it again. And let's not waste that. Let's put that onto something. Right, let's get a couple of clean pieces of paper. These are getting very, very, very wet. Come on, up you come. Right, that's tapped down on there. Right, let's do the same thing again, but hopefully not exactly the same thing. I'm going to mix it up. Actually, I'm going to mix it up on my brayer off sheet over here. And then all I'll be doing is brayering it pre-mixed. I mean, if I had my ceramic tile here, I'd be mixing it up on my ceramic tile. So. Now you could come in and do this directly onto the print by sponging it through, but I'm trying to utilise my 5x7 for all of this. Right, fingers crossed. That's better. I can live with that. It's not perfect, but we're going to be doodling anyway. Right, I wanted it up there, didn't I? Or across there. Let's do it across there instead. Now the flowers, I'm not really sure what colour I want to do those in. So let's peel this off here. Okay, I quite like that. That's put interest in there. Got stuff on this brayer. Let's see if I can just pick it up onto something else. Oops. Sticking the stencil down. That's how you shouldn't do, guys. Don't lay your stencils wet on top of any other surface, because I can guarantee they're going to stick. Right, I think the last bit I'm going to do in this section of the video, besides get these out of the way, is actually put the flowers on here. And I'm very, very tempted to do the flowers in white. And the reason behind that is because if I'm using black or something around them, they're going to show up better if they're white. Also, if they're white, I can potentially use a marker over the top and actually colour them another colour. And when I put the white flowers down, I'm then going to go and have a cup of coffee, and I'm going to see how long or how dry this gets in the time that I'm no longer here. Purely because, I'm just going to tear this one in half actually while we're talking. Purely because I know that if I put acrylic paint pens over the top of stuff, it's more than likely going to cause me a problem, is what I'm getting at. And I don't really want a problem. I think I only want 4. Let's tuck this under this side. think that'll be okay. Right, come in again with my white. Just going to put my white to one side. Right, before I start this, where are they going? I think I want one by there. So I hope this has been interesting. It's a bit of an experiment. It was sort of something I thought I wanted to share, and didn't know whether it would be of interest. But then that's the same with doing any content for YouTube. Unless it's actually a viewer's request, you don't truly know what people want to see. And that can be tricky. It can be tricky. I mean, I'm always up for suggestions. So if you do have suggestions, feel free to put them in the description box, in the comments box. I will always take on board comments. And, well, to be honest with you, I'm really struggling to keep up with comments lately because you're so kind about giving me support and advice and help along the way. That the comments have now got to the point where I'm trying every day. I spend at least 2 hours on comments and just trying to keep up with the comments. It's just mind-blowing. It's like I can't seem to keep up with them anymore. So if you have commented and you are waiting for a comment to be answered, please don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm literally swamped and it's fabulous. It's a great place to be, but I just need some time to catch up with everything, guys. So I will get to you all eventually. I can't guarantee how fast I'm going to get to all of you, but I'm definitely going to get to all of you. I'm liking that. I think I want one more set of flowers, and I think I'm going to risk it and actually not put the paper on either side. I think for what I want, I think I can just pop that in there. I just fancy another piece of it, and I'm thinking by here, and it may not even be a full strip. Wonder whether I can just get another two over here. Right, okay, I think I'm going to call that done for this section. I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to go and get a cup of coffee. I'm going to let all of this dry. I'm going to hit it with the hairdryer at the same point, and then I'm going to come back to you and we can take a look at it, and then I can make a decision as to whether, oh, that's good, I don't mind that. Because, I mean, we've got this far so far. Now, this is fine. It's dry enough to work on. As you all know, I'm not a confident person at doodling. I admire people who can do it, and I know Darcy has given me some advice and said, Ceri, just free up and just do it. Just literally have a go. And I've been doing it privately, trying to get more confidence, but my OCD and my controlling nature and my anxiety basically just go, you can't do it, you're going to be horrible at it. But I'm playing, so I'm going to have a go. Now, I don't have a huge amount of Posca paint pens because, to be honest with you, I haven't really used them that much. I mean, there's a silver, is that silver? Silver, I've got a couple of blacks, I've got a couple of whites and a gold. And then besides that, I've got a Uniball fine marker in a 0.8. So I can use those a bit. Now, looking at this, I know that I can use most of my markers and get reasonable shapes. I know I'm not going to be able to draw everything perfectly. I'm not going to use a ruler to do straight lines. I'm literally going to freehand it because that's the sort of eclectic hand-drawn look I'm looking for. But there is one bit that I know that I'm not going to be satisfied with no matter what I do, and that's the little circles I'm going to have to draw around here. So I thought I'd use my common sense. So I've got a bit of spare piece of Yupo. Now it could be a piece of card and I'm just going to hole punch a hole in it. And that means that I could come in here and if I want to draw little circles, I can just use this with a fine pen and draw little circles. So I just thought, I know some of you may go, well, that's cheating, Ceri, isn't it? But you know what? It's just what's going to make it easier for me. So don't know whether I'm going to be able to do the whole of this process in front of the camera. Not for any other reason than it's going to be too long-winded, but I am going to try and do bits of it. So this is it a 1.3? I get confused with these. Well, whatever it says on there is whatever it is. So just press it down to load it. Oh, that came out really quickly. Didn't expect it to be that quick. So I'm first of all just going to go in and go around some of these blocks. Now, as I said, I'm not planning on perfect. I'm not able to do perfect. I will never be able to do perfect. So I have to embrace the fact that I can't do perfect and use imperfect as a design element. So just coming along here. Now my instincts absolutely want me to grab a ruler for this. But Darcy, I'm embracing it. I'm letting it go. So the immediate thing that I'm seeing is that I have to avoid going over certain things. Like I don't want to go over leaves if I'm going to then draw the leaves in later. I think that outlining the stuff first for me is going to help me define things. It'll define areas that I can work on with pattern. Am I in shot? I am in shot. I don't know. And as with everything, I mean, you know, I've admitted that I'm no doodler. And I'm trying. It's one of the things I absolutely love the look of doodling. I mean, I've seen Gail do some fantastic work. I've seen Patricia and Mariah do doodling and absolutely love the results. I've seen Gail Augustinelli regularly do doodling. And I look at their papers and I'm going, but how can I do that? How can I do? And it is literally, as with anything you do, like I've heard people say, I can't do the gel plate, I can't do that. I'm like, but how much have you done of the gel plate? Like none of us were born able to do things, other than probably breathe, to be honest with you. So I wasn't born, oh, this is a wobbly line. I wasn't born able to drive a car, but I learned how to drive a car. I wasn't born able to collage. I learned how to collage. So it's, do you see where I'm going with this? So I'm trying to embrace the fact that in my mind I can't do these things, but actually if I just try, if I just have a go, my anxiety tells me I can't do things, and I've proved time and time again my anxiety is wrong. I can do things. I just need to do it several times to embed the new thinking into my mind. I think that's okay. That's given me some parameters of stuff. Already I'm liking the drama of it. Right. All of these blocks down here, I'm going to have to outline these. Now I'm so tempted to reach for a ruler. You have no idea how hard it is not grabbing a ruler. But then when I look at people's doodling, one of the things I like is that it's not precise. It's not exact. A circle isn't always a circle. A flower shape isn't always a perfect flower shape. Okay, I'm happy with that. Right, where's the other one? One thing I do have to do that I'm noticing is I have to work systematically. I definitely have to find all of the same pattern to work on before I move on to the next piece. I don't think I could jump around. Well, not yet anyway. I can also see I drank too much coffee today as well. Talk about a shaky hand. Or maybe that's my natural drawing hand. I don't know. I've not done this too often. And I've certainly not done it with you guys watching. Right, so that's given me the rough outline of it. Okay, I'm not hating it so far. There's a piece here that's got white on it, so I think I'm just going to outline that white and pretend it existed because I chose to put it there. So, right, what's next? Think I need to go around the flowers. I'm quite liking this thickness. I know I can use a thin one, but I think the thin one may get a little bit lost. So I think let's try and outline the flowers. And actually I can make my little hole thing the centers of the flowers. I'll come back and do that afterwards. Now, I think what I'm going to do is, like with these flowers, we know there's lots of flowers on this piece. So what I might do is I might finish this flower, put you on pause, and then I'll do all the flowers and then turn you back on again, because I don't want to speed it up. It's just the same technique. So I think I'll just pause you for 2 seconds. So that's the leaves done. Not perfect. They were never going to be perfect. I need to embrace not perfect. Now, when it comes to the dots, my little template thing is obviously not going to work. So maybe I just need to belly up to the bar and actually just draw around whatever is there. So trust the process, as I keep telling everyone else to do. So, which is a little daunting. So, but you know, it is what it is. Obviously, I can't draw a perfect circle. I've just discovered that. Well, I haven't discovered that. I probably knew that years ago. But then a perfect circle is a hard thing to do. If I was holding my hand up directly up vertical, I might stand a better chance, but that's not how I draw. Okay, not too bad. Right. I've got 2 more sections of this to do. Let's put you on pause. I know I keep pausing you, but I don't want this video to be 3 hours long because you're just standing there, sitting there watching me do this, when I want to get these little bits done, and then we can probably do some more interesting things. We'll see. Let me just get the circles done. Okay, I found that stressful. I thought it would because it's circles and of course want to make them perfect. Right, we're going to come in now. What size is this? 0.7mm white Posca. Has it got ink coming out? Oh, it has now. I tell you what, you don't need to hold the nib down long, do you? Right, I've got a feeling I want to put white stripes into these green boxes. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to have to go around this black afterwards. I don't know, actually. I think I might be okay with these. Am I in shot? I am in shot. See, this is, I feel more confident doing this because it's regimented, it's repetitive. I think I need to spend maybe a few days with Darcy. I think Darcy and I need to doodle. You never know what might happen. One day I might be at a retreat somewhere and Darcy and I together. It's a bit like Gail Augustinelli and I, if we ever get together. We've been planning to get together for years. The trouble is, we were all set to go to Creativation, and then guess what happened? Yeah, that horrible COVID thing happened. And as COVID happened, it put everything on the back burner. And then when things started coming back to normality, COVID had actually affected prices of flights and hotels by so much that it kind of pushed it out of the reach of the budget of being able to do it. So, but one day, I have every confidence that one day Gail and I will meet. It's like I would really like to meet up with Patricia and Mariah one day, and I don't see why that won't happen. Actually, it's like everything else. I think if you make up your mind to do something, unless there's a bigger force involved, you can usually make it work. I've just need to save up my pennies, sort out when, where, how, who and where, and put it in the diary. If it's not in the diary, it's never going to happen. Okay, I'm liking those. Those worked out well. Now I'm looking at these flowers and I'm not 100% sold on the flowers. I like them. I wonder why I don't do white over the top of the black. Actually, this was the black on here, wasn't it? I wonder if I can draw how wide the line would be. Oh no, that would drive me insane. No, I can't do that. Right. I like the white. I like it's giving me something. Maybe we'll do some diagonals. Yes, let's do some diagonals up this piece here. I can see why this is addictive, because I would certainly, well, I'm sure one day I will get addicted to this. I've been looking at doodling, I've been looking at Zentangling, I've looked at neurographic art. Neurographic art doesn't work for me. It's supposed to be calming. It has exactly the opposite effect on me, which maybe my resistant to change or something. I don't know. An analyst would probably have a heyday with my brain, I can tell you. But knowing that it didn't work for me is quite empowering, because knowing it didn't work means I can now cancel that out. Now, I did look at Zentangling, and again, it plays to something I like, which is it's repetitive, it's methodical, it's within a structure. However, I don't want to be confined to just doing Zentangling. So I think what's going to happen is I'm probably going to end up with sort of a doodling version that encompasses lots of other techniques. And that in itself, in my opinion, is not a problem. Right, I think I want to do the diagonals down here as well. Which in myself, I don't think that's a problem. I think that's actually a positive, to be able to marry different styles together. Right, I'm trying to remember what other people do. Now I know that I've seen, I need to find a section to do it in. Maybe this section here. I wonder, can I do it? Probably. Basically, they draw a curved line and they repeat the curved line all the way out to the edge. So let's see if I can do it with this. If I draw them wide enough, first of all. That'll give me an idea whether I actually like it or not. I do like it, but I think I'd like it more in black. So let's go back to the black marker, and I'll put the ones in between, and then I'll draw over the white lines, because they'll probably have dried by then. Hopefully my head isn't getting in the shot. I'm finding my trouble is my hand sort of sticks to my work surface, which is a little tricky because then everything judders as I draw. Okay, I'm not hating that. I'm not sure it's that most imaginative thing I've ever done. Right. I'm looking at this here and I'm thinking I want to make that into a scallop. Only because the stamped lines are even enough for me to actually take inspiration from them. Yes, let's go back to the white and see if I can put a white dot at the top of each of those. I'd like to get reasonably okay at this because I'm going to be doing a boho journal this year, and I'd quite like to make some pages like this to go in the boho journal. Okay, I'm liking that. That's all right. Not upset about that. I'm looking at this thinking I want to put circles in here, but I'm not sure. Are these all the same width? That's a 1.3. It's a 2.5. What's this? So it's the 2.5 is the bigger. I'm a bit unsure about this. 1.8.2.5 really messes with my brain. Is that normal, guys? Is that how they are in your country? Struggling a bit with that. So I think if I put a circle into each one of these, yeah, I definitely can't talk and do this at the same time. Okay. I'm still not happy with the flowers. The flowers look a bit too... Oh, I wonder whether I could outline the black outline with a white outline. Does that make sense when I'm maybe? Let me just try it on one of them. Let's do it on this one because it's clear so you can see it. And if I can, I'll pause the video and then I'll go and do them all. I think if I go around the edge of the black, I think I like that better. As long as I leave a little bit of the black, I should be okay. Okay, that's working for me better because my shaky lines look really bad if it's just black. And if I put a circle around the middle, okay, I'm liking that. Do you like that better? I do. Right, I'm going to pause the camera and I'm going to do that with all the flowers because I think that's going to help me accept them for what they are. So here we are. I did the flowers again. I'm actually pleased I did the flowers. I might put a little line or something in the middle of each one of them. Not sure. Still playing. It's getting there. I'm a little, as you know, unsure about this, but I think we're working okay. I think I'm going to be brave and pull out the gold. Oh, well, it's quite a thick nib. What shall I do with the gold? Maybe a couple of spirals here and there. And I'm doing them on the green on purpose because green is sort of a base colour for gold. So you may not be able to see it until you tilt the page. And that, I'm doing that on purpose because this is me trying to do something different. So I'm liking where I am at the moment, but that doesn't mean I want to get overly confident and go wild. Right, so I don't mind the little spirals. So I could do the little spirals in another area. Maybe down here. Oh, funny you've noticed that I've actually only been putting gold on the areas that are already slightly gold. Right. Now I did quite like the dots, but I don't want to do dots all over. I wonder how gold goes on the red. Wonder whether I put a cross in each one of these squares. Okay, the gold is reasonably transparent. I just thought, how do you know when you're finished? I just realised, I'm like, I keep adding and adding and adding. When do you know you're finished? But I suppose that goes with any piece of art that you do. You only know when you know. Okay, I'm liking the gold bit. I'm liking the crosses in the boxes. I don't know whether there's anywhere else on here that I could do it. I've lost track of where the box is now. Okay, that's okay. It was the boxes anymore. Oh, this box is over here. That's very close to that though. Let's do these little boxes in here. I wonder whether I do all the diagonals first. A bit like doing cross stitch and then doing the ones in the other direction. Okay, that might be quicker for me. Okay, I'm liking that. That's all right. I think we need to go away from the gold because it's not that expressive, really, is it? I wonder. There's that thin black again. I'm wondering whether I just freehand a bit of a grill in the corner. Well, not so much a grill, but a mesh, a grid, a grill, a lattice. I just hit you with my head. I think I did actually. Apologies. Right. This feels like it's crying out for something and I'm not sure. Maybe I'll draw circles in there. I seem to like the circle theme, don't I? Okay, it's okay. I'm going to go back to the thin white again. I think I'd like to put some white lines in the middle of that. These Posca pens are quite juicy, I must admit. I mean, I don't know what their longevity is like, but I haven't used these very much. Let's put it that way, so I know that. And I always store my pens on their side. Anything that's got paint or ink in with them, I put them on their side. Right, I'm wondering whether I try and do some of those curly cues that I've just done in white on here. Okay, that's all right. I can live with that. Okay, that's not too bad. I don't mind that. Let's do some more down here. I think the more I'm doing this, the more I'm not caring. Does that... I know it probably doesn't sound like a good thing to admit, but the more I'm doing it, the more I'm not caring that I'm making a mistake or not perfect. I think I'd like to put gold dots. I've seen Darcy do dots with one of these. Oh, no, not that much. Oh, wait. Okay, time for mop up and aisle number 9 again. Okay, well, I guess we've got something there then. Right, just don't press it down each time is the question. Right, okay. I thought Darcy was pressing it down every time, and she obviously is just touching the nib down, because touching it down will just pump the paint into the nib. And now I need to work out what to do with that. Okay, so I've got some dots in there. I'm not sure how much more I can do here, guys. I'm just doing stuff, as you know. This gold runs nice and smoothly. I feel I want to put the line around the outside. Okay, that's interesting. I think I want to stop now. I feel I've stressed myself out enough. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, though. I wonder whether I can draw something there. If I draw something there, I might have to draw it somewhere else as well. So what? Let's draw something. Apparently we're drawing leaves. I suppose if there's more than one of them, then it's a design element, isn't it? Okay, not so obvious now. I think I want to put one in down here as well. Now I was going to do something with these flowers, wasn't I? I'd completely forgot about those. I'm wondering whether just maybe a little flick of a line. Not loving that. I'm unsure about these flowers, guys. I know I've been over them. I'm just not sure what to do with them. I love them, but I'm not enamored of them. I'm wondering whether, let's go back to the one we started with. I like the black line on them and I like the white line around. What I don't like is a variation of the black and white line. And I'm wondering if I colour the whole thing in again in white, whether I can redraw the black line so that it's the same width. Bear with me, I think I need to play with these a bit more. So, I did the leaves gold, happy about that. I did an extra line around here, and what else did I drew a grid onto these because I just felt it needed it. While I was waiting for flowers to dry. I've given the flowers 2 coats of white Posca pen, and they're still not perfect, but I need to just go, you know what, it's okay. But I sort of have an idea, and I'm quite pleased I took so long doing that because it's given me an idea. I really like the coverage the gold gives me. And I think what I might do is, I'll just demonstrate on one of these, is, let's see, one that's really, really dry. Maybe this one. I'm thinking if I take the gold pen and I do the inside of the petal gold, okay, so it looks like that, and then take the thinner black pen and actually go around the outside of it. And I think I might be happier with that. So I'm going to do that with all of them. I'm tempted to go around the gold bit as well, but I thought that's probably chancing my luck. But I don't mind having the gold centre to each of the petals. So I'm going to do that, then I'm going to come back, and then I'm literally going to be saying goodbye, because I've got to the point now where I'm like, okay, I'm beginning to get myself a little wound up about this, and I shouldn't. It should be enjoyable. So I just want to do the flowers, and I think that will be okay. I'm going to put in a little bit of an extra dark line there because I don't like the fact that there's a gap. So literally I'm going to, as a black, I'm going to come in, just going to make that a solid, thicker line. I can accept that. Okay, so sorry about all the stop, start, but I think, as I've never done a doodle video before, I don't really know how to do a doodle video, besides not being really a doodler. So, okay, guys and girls, it's done. I finished the flowers off. Don't think I did anything else actually since I last spoke to you. But I think I need to stop now because this is beginning to get me a little wound up. I'm happy with what I've done. I did say a few months ago that you'd probably never see me doodle on screen. This is as close as you're going to come. And I'm not sure whether I'll be doing it again too soon. I just felt it was a lot of pressure, and I haven't, as Darcy said, yet learned to let go of it. So, but I did find, I was actually, there were moments when I was like, oh, we'll just do this and just do this. So there was a hint for me of what Darcy means, I think, about letting go, in that I just got a bit carefree and went, oh, put dots in there, put X's in there, put this there. And it will just be a vocabulary of designs and patterns and things that I build up in my subconscious that I reach for. And I think I struggled because I'm not used to doing it. I didn't understand what the patterns could be. I know straight lines, I know dots, I know drawing around things, I know circles, even though they are very badly drawn circles. But yes, it was good. I achieved what I wanted. I wanted to show that you could create a 12 by 12 background using a 5 by 7 plate. It's already been done by someone else. There's never been any inkling of, can you do it? You've always been able to do it, but I've never actually made a 12 by 12 purposely using a 5 by 7. So for me, it was a new thing to do, and it was fun. I did it. I wanted something bright and modern and quite in your face, and I think I achieved it. So thank you for your patience with this video. And I know the doodlers out there are probably cringing, going, what the heck is that? But you know what? This is my first one. I'm happy. If that's my first one, that's a good place to start this journey. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, okay, you will probably see the results of my doodling more frequently when I get more comfortable with it. I might do a smaller project on screen, but I think a 12 by 12 with doodling and a background was just a touch too much for me. But hey ho, I did it. I achieved it. It's finished. Will I throw this away? No, I won't. I'm going to keep this. Actually, it could become a journal cover, to be honest with you, because I was looking at this. I mean, there are certain sections of this that I would quite readily have. Like, that's a lovely cover there. If I cut that to 9 by 12, that's a lovely cover. So I don't know. The one thing I'm going to have to work out, though, is how to seal it, because I know Posca pens, when you try and brush medium on them, will actually move. However, I can put medium onto my 12 by 12 gel plate and seal it that way, which is what I might do. Don't know. Or I might just leave it as a 12 by 12 as a reminder to myself of my first doodling onto 12 by 12. So anyway, I'm twittering on here. So guys, thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for your understanding about me just having a go at something. And I hope you enjoyed it a bit. I kind of did. Let's just say, until next time. Okay? Goodbye, guys. I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Have fun.